Hi, friends.
Welcome to the Nora and Bex podcast.
I'm Nora,
And I'm Bex.
and today we're going to be talking about the Imp and Skiz episode titled. Hold on, what's the full title?
Patience.
Just a little
Just a little
patience.
patience. I was like,
Yeah.
my brain wanted to like resort back to the last episode because it was like obsession. It wasn't let's talk about it.
Unpack
It was,
that?
yeah, let's unpack that. So I was like thinking similar. But yes, just a little patience.
Let me look at the number really quick.
Should be like 83?
Episode 81.
Oh.
81.
Wow, I was off. That's embarrassing.
It's okay. You're good.
I'll tell you what.
Episode 81.
I'll tell you what has been stuck in my head since the podcast episode dropped.
What?
Patience by Guns N' Roses.
Oh, yeah.
For real, so
That's
much.
so funny.
Oh, man.
That's hilarious.
So, what are your thoughts?
It was a good episode. I was like sad a little bit at the beginning when they were talking about it. And talking about how Skiz has had a hard time like getting started with the Hermitcraft season.
Mm-hmm.
It made me sad for him because I was so excited for him to like finally experience the life that he wants so badly, and I know that he'll be okay and like it'll work out and he'll get his time to spend on the server, but
Yeah,
to start off that way is still pretty rough.
for sure.
And I think that all of us have experienced, things like that where things don't really go our way and we have to just accept it and be patient with the timing that we've been given.
Mm-hmm.
And, props to him for being self-aware and just like at peace about it.
Yeah.
And, there's nothing he can do. It just happens,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, really good on him for doing that.
Yeah, and very just like,
I
I appreciate his transparency too. Like, he also, like, he is so grounded and like is really good at compartmentalizing, but he also like just even in the episode admitting to like he was incredibly frustrated and pissed off that it was happening. So like he definitely doesn't
Right.
deny that part of him or try and conceal that. He's just such a real guy.
Yeah.
It's wild.
He is.
But I'm
Yeah.
genuinely like really proud of him, which is such a weird thing to say because I feel like that's the wrong order of things when I'm so much younger and I don't even know him. But I'm like, wow, I'm so proud of you, Skiz.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got emotional at the start of it. I was actually on my way to breakfast and I was a few minutes away when it was really getting to that point, and I was like, I gotta turn this off. I'm gonna like walk into the restaurant crying.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, it's rough.
And then there was a whole other side. There was a whole other side of it that they talked about later, which was like being patient with people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's such a real thing to have every single day. Like, patience for people is so short sometimes.
Oh yeah.
And it's such an interesting thing to be aware of in yourself, where it's like, I know that I have a short fuse when it comes to this particular scenario happening with someone.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that they were able to like distinguish those moments where it's like, oh, my fuse is short when it comes to this, and that they were able to realize that.
Yeah.
Their self-reflection is really admirable.
Mm-hmm.
And, realizing that there's a problem is the first step in fixing it. So,
Yeah. And just like
yeah.
knowing yourself well enough to be able to like remove yourself mentally or physically from a situation is like really good self practices.
Yeah.
Definitely hard to remember in the moment. And like yeah, it takes a while. I think it takes a while to get there, because even at my point in life, like I feel like the kinds of situations I find myself in where I'm losing patience are ones that I don't know how to anticipate, like I don't see coming. and it tends to be something out of left field. Those are the moments
Yeah.
I struggle a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I can think of scenarios of just like really wanting to light someone up after saying really just out of left field things. And in those moments, thankfully,
Mm-hmm.
I have friends there who were like acknowledged the bomb and diffused and like redirected the whole scenario as quickly as possible, which that's another thing
Yeah.
of just like another layer of patience is having people around you that know how to recognize when you are struggling and when you're about to lose
Yeah.
control and are able to guide you like back onto the path and just breathe
Right.
and,
Mm-hmm.
save yourself from saying things you regret later.
Right. I like am struggling to remember what they all they talked about now.
Uh,
Um,
well, let's
I
jump
feel
back
like
to like
I
the first topic of like patience in situations that are out of your control that are just like environmental like
yeah, just like
disturbances.
things that happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um. Well.
Can you think of a recent event, even small, of just like something where something unexpected happened and you, whether you struggled with patience or you were able to like recognize and like, kind of step back and take a look at the situation and, you know,
I mean, a big one that I have every single day is I have a 40-minute drive to school every day, and it normally takes me, well, it should be a 35-minute drive, but it takes me almost 50 minutes every day
dang.
there, and then on the way back it takes me like an hour
Oh my gosh.
because of the traffic being so bad. So that's something where it was like at the beginning of when I started school and like I was starting to drive every day,
Mm-hmm.
I was really frustrated with that, and like I had to work my schedule around the fact that I couldn't always predict what the traffic was going to be like. So
Yeah.
I have to, be patient and not get frustrated with the timing and the sitting in standstill traffic. Which I think a big part of that is that I was able to change my schedule and I'd get up earlier and I go to the gym earlier and I get done earlier and I still arrive like 45 minutes early to school. So, it's just I was able to figure out a way to not be rushed
Mm-hmm.
so that I could be patient with the people that were, you know, cutting me off and being annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a level of like stepping back and looking at what your options are to help yourself like mentally to be able to not get in that situation before it even
Right.
happens. So yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you? Do you have anything?
I mean, surely I do. I am struggling at the moment to like pinpoint one.
Yeah.
It's weird to like think of a scenario where like I have been able to be really level-headed, not like as opposed to like something where I'm actually struggling with patience and trying to level myself out.
Right.
It's interesting how like just I mean, I feel like I haven't experienced many family crises before in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, there's medical issues in my family that
Yeah.
have ended up in unexpected hospital visits in the last couple weeks, and
Yeah.
unexpected long stays at the hospital, and still not really fully understanding what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it is very stressful and very scary to have an important person in my immediate family be kind of out of commission in a lot of ways. Not not by any means like, at danger of losing them, but that's not completely out of the realm of possibility, but it's more just like having to take them out of the equation of our, because, we're self-employed and so we're running a business from home, and,
Yeah.
He's a huge part of that. And so it's like it seems like it should be very stressful and frustrating for it to be happening. And yet I just feel a lot of peace and I'm able to step back and like, well, not exactly step back, but just really like put my boots on and just get done what needs to get done. And I just trust that things happen for a reason and it's going to work out the way it's supposed to. And,
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a big one. That's like
a little heavier than I meant to go, but like, yeah, it's just kind of one of those
totally
things.
Fine.
I think you go. I think in crises, like, it's very fight or flight.
Right.
Your brain just kind of clicks on when stuff needs to get done, and you gotta stay the course. Then that's just what you do.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Definitely. I was thinking of like another area where we have shown patience continuously.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be like we've been both going to the gym for a very long time.
Yeah.
And there's a level of sometimes you can get like frustrated and impatient with the results that you're getting.
Ooh, yeah, that is very true.
I've definitely been feeling that. Every once in a while, it's like I feel like I should be stronger by now. I feel like I should be, thinner by now. I feel like I should be all of these things. And, I've been working for like a year, and I still haven't seen I feel like I can't even see progress on my own body for the work that I've been putting in.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that that's not necessarily true. It's just, it's so gradual that you don't even really notice it.
Right.
And it just becomes normal. But that's why progress pictures are so important.
I know, dude. I really need to be better about taking those because, yeah,
I know.
I will, and for another thing, I find it so incredibly awkward sometimes to pose. And like,
yeah.
I'm like, I don't see anything. And I'm like, maybe I'm posing wrong. But then I am posing right. But it still is just like hard to get muscles that are baby size to pop.
Right. And it's like, you're not really motivated to show it, to take pictures of your body if it doesn't look the way that you want it to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to do that for sure. And it's like, being females, our progress shows slower.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the way it is. Like there's not really anything we can do about that. And we've both been working on our diets. We've both been trying and doing all of the right things.
Mm-hmm.
And it just takes time. Like that is the one thing that we, can't rush. So
yeah,
we just have to be consistent. And it is something where we can, well, at least I can definitely lose patience with myself and my body for not showing up the way that I want it to.
Yeah. So. And I would say for me personally, like that same kind of thing in terms of like feeling frustrated at myself and my body for not performing the way I wish it would. And I feel like it should be able to. And like, yeah, I mean, I would say there's so many different stages of gym, negativity, imposter syndrome a little bit. I don't know if I would say what you're experiencing falls into like body dysmorphia category, right?
I guess
somewhat.
I don't want to like make it sound more serious than it is. It's just like,
sure, but I think at the same time, like it's not something that you don't have to downplay what you're feeling,
yeah.
And yeah, I would say it kind of reminds me that almost reminds me of like people who experience seasonal depression, right?
Uh-huh.
Some people really don't like to, like, they wouldn't want to just label themselves that way and say that because they don't want to make it seem like they're very mentally ill. And
Mm-hmm.
they don't want to make it seem, you don't want to make it seem like, oh, I experience all the same things someone who struggles with legitimate, like, depression on a long term basis is experiencing.
Yeah.
But it's very real and possible to experience bouts and levels of depression, and maybe not be experiencing it long term in the same way, but it's still like valid. And it's crazy what a lack of sunlight will do to the human brain.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
I think people, it's okay for people to accept that and say that they have, seasonal depression is very real.
Yeah.
And it's okay. But anyway,
Yeah.
side rant. But for me in the gym, I'm just like, some days I'll be able to hit a certain weight for certain movements, like lat pull downs. I can do 80, which, take that as you will, because cables are all over the place as far as their consistency and weight. 80 for me
Yeah.
is like like 45 at your gym.
Yeah.
So, but like I'll be able to do really well performed lateral pull downs, and then a week later I have to drop 10, 15 pounds. And
Right.
that's not always because, the easy excuse is the, certain time of the month that kind of affects all of that. But
Right.
not even during those times, like just on a regular day of the week, it's like suddenly my body, even though I slept fine, even though I
Yeah.
feel like I was eating fine, which I'm sure a lot of those things are still contributing, and I just haven't been paying attention enough to notice. But
Right.
to have to like take my body slower and backtrack in like my PRs is so like deflating. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, what do you mean you can't? What do you mean you can't push that much? You
I think
literally did it
that part
last
of
week.
it, no, you're good. I think that part of it is also like our menstrual cycle is also 1 week where less capable of pulling weight. Then there's also another week where we're more capable of pulling weight.
That's
And there are
very
2 weeks that
true.
are like normal. So you have to take that into account where if you pull this like really great PR 1 week and then can't the next week, there's a whole nother level of that where there's a week where we're stronger and there's a week where we're weaker. And
That's so true.
yeah,
I do forget
we have
about
to
that.
like,
There's a lot of stages. It's not really just like the one little bit.
yeah,
It's like this, it is quite literally a cycle.
yeah. And I think that that's something that's been really helpful for me, at least.
Yeah.
I have a Google Docs that I keep with all my workouts, and um, I have it labeled each, like color coded for the phase of my cycle that I'm in, so that I
Ooh,
can be like,
that's
oh,
really
I
smart.
hit that weight, but it was this, and I can actually compare it to the last time I was in that cycle instead of the previous week because it's not consistent from week to week.
Dang, that's so true. I really should probably start doing that. That's wild. I think I
But yeah,
have.
so you can be more patient with yourself in that area.
Very true. You're right. You're right. I know that in a journal somewhere I have some notes that I took from a YouTube video I watched where this girl was just kind of talking through like the cycles of like what your brain is doing during that time, like how it's affecting your mental state, how it's affecting your physical state, and like the best things
Mm-hmm.
to get done and the best things to do in those times.
Yeah.
It's like a I feel like she used a metaphor of like a roller coaster a little bit where it is on the low point and then it's riding up, and then you have like the exhilaration of the peak, and then once you hit the peak it's a drop again, and it's like this,
Yeah.
something like that. But um
Yeah.
so yeah, I need to step back, reevaluate, apply.
Yeah.
I'm learning things here. It's good.
That's good. That's good. So yeah, that's a big part of I think that's a big part of both of our lives, that
Mm-hmm.
we can be impatient in different
Yeah.
ways. Um, I I mean, for me, I guess a big thing also is just like losing patience with myself
Yeah.
in certain areas where it's like, whether you keep making mistakes or doing things that you don't want to be doing, or like, you want to implement a new discipline and you're just not doing it the way that you have set yourself up for.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, come on, like, get yourself together. And like, you can lose patience with yourself for not doing what you want yourself to be doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think there's this mental balance or like mental turmoil. I don't know if it's a balance or turmoil. Mental state I've been in when it comes to like prioritizing some different things. Let's
Mm-hmm.
use the example of my desire to wake up at 6 a.m. every morning. It
Yeah.
was really easy the first 2 times I've done it. And then ever since then, it's been a struggle. Um,
Yeah.
Now, it's definitely been a mix of like, there are mornings where I'm just like, absolutely not, I don't want to. And my
Yeah.
alarm that I tried to use to like motivate me to get out of bed, I hate it now. It didn't take long, but I hate it.
Yeah.
And
That's the way it goes.
yeah. And so there'll be stuff like that. And then obviously there's other situations where, um, believe it or not, there are some nights where I'm up super late, not because I was being irresponsible, but I like had to be up late, waiting for family to get home due to,
Yeah.
those are those situations of like environmental factors that I didn't have a lot of control over, or
Yeah.
environmental factors where uh, I knew that I had to be somewhere in the morning and it was not really going to work for me to get up and go to the gym. So I tried to plan around going to the gym another time of day. Therefore, I was less motivated to actually get up at 6.
Right.
Most often, though, I just find myself not being able to fall asleep, actually, like get into bed and go to sleep until, once it pushes like past 11:30, I know I'm not going to get enough sleep. And a lot of the
Yeah.
time, it's all of a sudden I'm like, how did it get to 1 o'clock? And I'm like, crap, now I
Yeah.
can't wake up early. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm definitely, it's a weird balance of like, I'm mentally hard on myself about it, but not in a way that's pushing me quite yet to like be better.
Right.
And I hear the what's stopping you and the what's stopping you still like in my head when I get in those places and I'm like, Becca, do you actually want it? Do you really want to do it, or do you just kind of want it? And I'm like,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
like, I do want it, but it's really hard.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And just some encouragement for you is, I've been waking up that early for several months at this point,
Mhm.
consistently. And at first, it was really imbalanced where it was like I was at school 4 days a week. I woke up at 6 a.m. those days. And then the days that I didn't have school the next day, I would stay up until like 1:30 as opposed to like going to bed at 10, which is what I normally do. And it's gotten to a point where once it hits like 9:30, I'm like, I could go to bed right now. Like, I'm tired
Mhm.
because I got up at 6 this morning.
Yeah.
And like, your body adjusts so that you are not only able to wake up at 6 a.m. easier, which by no means is it easy every single day. And, that's the same for whatever time you get up. Like, if you stay up later and get up later, you still have some struggle to get up no matter
Mhm.
what time you wake up. So, it's
Yeah.
not that different. But once you
Yeah.
start it and your body gets used to it, and now that it's actually like every single day for me, like with everything that I have going on, I get up at 6 every day, 6 or 7. And so I go to bed at 10 or 11, And it's hard for me to stay up past 10. Like, it really genuinely is. Like, I will be falling asleep. And that is, like, my motivator. That's like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm ready to go to bed. And that makes it easy.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to get into that cycle in order for that to
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a tricky thing for me to juggle because I've just always been such a night owl. Um,
Yeah.
and like on a
Definitely.
regular basis, it's easy for me to stay up till midnight, but on like it's like that's a normal, but then it's really not hard for me to stay up till 2 or 3 if I wanted to for the right reasons. I've definitely
That's
toned
another
down
thing
on
is
that. Go
I
ahead.
never did that. So it's
Yeah.
hard for me
Yeah.
to like talk on it because I wasn't a night owl really. Like, I would stay up till like maybe 1, but
Yeah.
not that much later.
Yeah, it was probably like less of a jump for you in terms of shifting your schedule, but even still, like it's not like I don't experience getting tired at 10 or 11. Like sometimes I do crash on the couch at like 9 on accident because I'm so tired.
Yeah.
And just stuff like that. During the summer, especially, so hot out here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, goodbye.
Yeah.
We're checking out at 10.
Yeah. I think that another great thing that comes with the consistency of the schedule that I have is that my family has also acclimated to my schedule. And so it's like if we want to watch a movie together as a family, we have to start it so that Ellie can go to bed at 10.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the way that it goes.
Yeah.
And they're used to it at this point, and so they plan for it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just like, that helps because then I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything either.
Yeah. There's definitely an element of like environmental factors too when it comes to, because currently I'm living in temporary space, temporary housing that's a lot smaller than what I'm used to with my family. And
Yeah.
so I can't, like, if I get up and I'm going about my business doing my stuff, my space isn't just mine, and I easily wake up other people. And some of my family is up at the time I am, but others are not. And so
I still think you should just put a ladder out that window that you have and just climb out your window. Just make that an exit for yourself.
Oh my gosh.
Then you don't have to worry about when you're training a puppy or something and you don't have to wake it up. You can just crawl out your window.
Yeah, just goodbye. Oh man. Well, my pre-workout's in the kitchen though.
Put it in your room.
But my sink is in the kitchen.
Fill it up in the bathroom.
Ugh.
Well, you can't really fill it up the night before.
Sink water.
Just fill up your cup with water.
Yeah.
Bring it into your room.
Perfect plan. Flawless.
Have your gym bag ready to go. And when you do that, you could just be like, okay, I'm going to put my blender bottle on my desk with water in it. There you go.
Perfect.
Easy solution.
No flaws whatsoever.
None. Not you having to drop out of that window.
Mm-hmm.
But do you? I'm trying to think if I have any other patience struggles. I mean,
certainly they're there, but like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not having any come to mind currently.
Yeah.
But
I think that one that I have had to deal with recently. I'm gonna talk about this carefully because I don't want to be rude. But I'm in a school. Well, I can just say I'm in cosmetology school, so it's an hourly program. So like, you graduate based on the amount of hours that you are there, and for me that's 1,500 hours.
Okay.
And so hours are really important, and showing up for the days that you're supposed to be there, it's like, I don't want to stay any longer than I'm supposed to, so I'm just gonna go and be diligent about that. I'm in a class full of other girls that are there, and I've seen a lot of kind of slacking off recently. with some of the girls in my class. And like, I get it. I literally don't want to go a lot of days, but you know, I have to remember sometimes that they don't have the same kind of motivation that I do, maybe, or like they don't care if they stay a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's like factors to their, you know, not showing up as well as they could be. And obviously they could be going through things that I don't know about, and there's a whole lot of factors. But on the surface level, it's like, if you really don't want to be here, then you should be diligent about making the hours so that you can leave for good, you know? And that's just what makes sense to me in my brain, because when I came into this school, I knew it was going to be hard, and I knew I wasn't going to want to be there when it got to a certain point. And I was just like, I don't care. I have to get through it, and I'm not slacking off. But that's something that's been testing my patience, where it's like, I'll see in our group chat, like, I'm skipping today, I don't feel like coming, or, you know, just like things like that. And it's just like, why can't you just show up? And it's hard. It's hard for me to like
understandable
remember and be understanding towards them, and realize that there are things that are going on in their lives that I might not know. And you know, maybe they're just not being smart with their time, and maybe there are real reasons, but I don't know that. So I can't be impatient and, just, I have to be understanding. But it is hard sometimes for me to have patience for them in those moments.
Yeah, for sure. I totally get that.
I don't think any of them are going to listen to this, but if they do, I do love you, and I'm sorry. But, and it's just,
she wants you to succeed.
Just a couple times. I want you to succeed, and it hurts me to see, that, because I don't want you to be stuck longer than you have to be.
Ellie doesn't want to have to be there longer either. Nora.
No, I'm leaving. Yeah.
Nora doesn't want to be there any longer than she has to be either, guys.
Yeah, so just want the best for all the girls. But that's something that I've struggled with a little bit recently.
Yep.
There's always like, I have younger siblings, so there's a lot of patience being tested daily with them. But that's just like, expected. It's when you're living with people in general, it's like there's always going to be things that kind of rub you the wrong way sometimes, and you have to be like, okay, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to remember, was it this podcast episode that Skiz was talking about their Great Dane or Great Dane mix that chews up dog beds every week?
Yes.
Yeah, I was definitely feeling the dog thing for sure. That's anytime I buy a dog bed, though, and that's why I don't buy dog beds anymore. But yeah, in terms of patience testing, I mean, I have a corgi. I have multiple corgis, but one of my corgis, for whatever reason, really prefers to sometimes poop inside. And she's 2, so she certainly knows better.
She's just like, the grass just didn't feel good today. So
yeah, it's a little too damp. I would rather poop on the carpet.
She's a little diva.
She is, for sure.
She's funny, though.
Yeah. She's too cute for her own good.
Yeah, definitely. My dog is also, she's hard of hearing sometimes when she chooses to be. And I can lose patience for her, especially in moments when it's like I'm already on the edge and it's been a long day, and I'm like, oh my goodness, could you please just do what I'm telling you to do?
Yeah.
There was a time when I was genuinely concerned that she couldn't hear. I was like, is she actually deaf? Like, she's not listening at all. Is she actually deaf? Like, she's not coming, even when she should want to come. I don't understand.
It's the mental anxiety anytime you give your dog a bath that, like, you accidentally got water in their ears, even though you tried to be really careful. You're like, oh
Right.
God, I made my dog go deaf.
Yeah.
Oh.
So there was a time for a little bit that I was concerned, but I have
Wild.
deducted that she's fine.
Yes,
She
yes.
just is stubborn.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
Suki.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
But
this was
pretty
a
funny.
good episode.
yeah,
Lots of fun.
good conversation.
All of this to
Um,
say, be patient with yourselves, be kind to yourselves, and be patient
Yeah,
and kind
and
to others. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
And we're proud of you, Skiz.
Yes.
Powering through.
We're so excited for you to get through this and then come back. And what's the
Be even
phrase?
less patient with your actual job.
Right. What's the phrase that they were saying about, like, was it like hitting the griddle while it's hot? What is the phrase I'm thinking of? It's like,
I think that's it.
is that what it is? Yeah.
I don't
The
know.
griddle might cool
Something
down,
like
but it'll
that.
get hot again. I'm probably butchering
Yeah.
that metaphor, but it's okay.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Whatever it
we
is.
heard it. Everyone knows what we're talking about.
Yes, all of the people
Oh,
listening.
striking the iron while it's
Yes, thank you. Oh, hit the griddle.
hot.
That's embarrassing. All right, well, to anybody listening, thanks so much for giving your time to listening to our episode and being here.
Yeah. Yep.
And yeah,
We'll
see you next week.
talk to you next week.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye. I'm trying to remember our intro.
Oh, yeah. I think I say hi, friends.
Nora and Bex is the
Okay.
order. Okay, I got it.
Okay. Not you forgetting the order. That's so.
I just for a hot second, I was
Okay.
like, Imp and Skiz. Okay, Nora and Bex.
Yep. Okay, ready?
Uh-huh.